Hi everyone, this is Angela and welcome to my channel. So today I'll be comparing these two brands of acrylic markers, kind of giving you guys an insider look of how they differ in terms of performance, price, as well as color range. So this is mostly going to be based off of my experience using them as a drawing tool. I haven't used them on like graffitis or painting on canvas bags, so I wouldn't know how they perform in those scenarios. Before I start, I think I should give you guys a little bit of background story on these two brands. So I looked up these two brands and looked through their websites. So the main difference I noticed between these two brands is that Molotow markers, they are refillable and their tips are exchangeable. Whereas Posca markers, they're definitely not refillable, but some tips are exchangeable. So Molotow as a brand seems to be more environmentally friendly. If you are someone who are very conscious of the impact of plastic on the environment, then Molotow might be a good option. Let's first take a look at all the different sets of markers that I have. Starting off with Posca. The first ever set I got was a set of 8 and I would really recommend this set. I personally love pastel colors, so I had to get the pastel set as well. Eventually, I also got the set of 15 medium point Posca markers. As I started doing more drawings with these markers, I started to realize that I really needed extra fine point markers, just to refine the details and to make everything look a bit more cleaner. Moving on to my Molotow markers. The first ever set I got was the pastel set. So I know these markers are really expensive, and hearing me talk about, oh, I have to get this or I got that, I know some of you guys might not have the money to get them. The reason why I had the money or I was willing to invest into them is because art is just such a big part of my life. So don't feel pressured that you have to spend all this money on markers. For first round of comparison, I want to compare the pastel colors from these two companies. As you can tell, the paint is not flowing out very well. You can tell the difference here that the pastel orange from Posca is much more orangey. It's a little bit more saturated than I would prefer, whereas the peach pastel from Molotow is much more subtle. I think Posca offers a lot more colors on their website, but in art supply stores that I've been to, even the one in Tokyo, I couldn't find that many colors that differed from the basic set. For third round of comparison, I want to compare the earthy tones from Molotow markers and Posca markers. So you can see that Molotow offers a lot wider range in terms of earthy skin tones. And on the subject of price, this set cost me around $40, which I think is a little bit too expensive for markers, especially if you are a student. If I were a student, I don't know if I want to spend $40 on just 5 markers, or I would buy that amazing art book that I always wanted. Okay, they're both kind of overpriced. But yeah, so my point is, Molotow markers are really expensive. And I think the reason why they are so expensive is because they are refillable up to 50 times, so they're like a permanent investment. Whereas Posca, they do run out. For me personally, I think 1 or 2 years of light use. You might have to buy them again, so in the end, they might end up costing around the same. So one thing I really want to clarify is that these two brands both offer really great markers. It really just depends on your needs. If you are a student or you are a beginner and you don't really want to invest that much, then I would really recommend Posca markers. But if you're someone who is more invested with drawing with these markers and you can afford it, then I would definitely recommend Molotow markers, because they do offer that subtle color range that Posca markers doesn't. I personally own both brands and I use them both consistently alongside each other. I think it would be good if you can use both brands and utilize the strengths of both brands. So thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more tutorials using these acrylic markers, check out my channel. And that's it for today.